questions, right?
Yeah. So go ahead and open up with questions. I think you should.
Dick, what's this mean to you to be honored in this way?
Well, it's a very humbling experience, to tell you the truth. You know, I didn't come here to play and get a statue, you know, after I was done. But so it's very humbling, and you know, I just in my comments, I'm going to mention a few things about that teammates should be involved in this and be thought of also when they look at the statue. So it's a humbling deal. What else, you know? What the hell can you say? It's usually for some dead people, but it's pretty nice. Good. All right.
How did you play? You know, when the sculptor decides to do this, how did you play a role in that, and what was that like for
Well,
you?
I really made it tough for George. I really didn't. You know, you know, I really wasn't for it. I mean, how could I, you know, insist on anything? He did an excellent job. I mean, I helped him a little bit, but not much. He did it all on his own, did all the research, and it's amazing what they have to do to make these statues as far as getting it authentic looking. I mean, he's asking me, do I have my shoulder pads? And, you know, well, shit, the shoulder pads are under the jersey. What difference? I mean, no, I don't have them. Because the funny thing is, it's not funny, I wore my Illinois helmet for the first year or two with the Bears, and I wore those shoulder pads, which Paul Shady here, the equipment guy, designed, and I wore them till they literally rotted the first 4 years with the Bears. So naturally I didn't have any of that stuff left over. So he did his own research, and you know, he did a great job with Grange, and I'm sure he did a great job with mine.
Dick, how has the game changed since you played until what it is now?
Well, you know, I don't know. It's just with all the rule changes, it's changed the game. You know, they like to see offense, and you know, although you know they threw the ball a fair amount of times when I was playing, when you had guys like Bart Starr and Unitas, Tarkington, and all that. But it just seems now it's more emphasized on the offense. And with the change of rules, it's, you know, I guess they like to see 59 to 58 games versus, you know, 10 to 9 or something. I don't know. I just, I have a tough time watching it, to tell you the truth, with the antics. It seems like a me world out there on the field like it is in America. It's all about me. So I think they're losing what the hell the game's about. It's a team sport, not individuals. You know, in the old days, when you would, you know, jump up and do a cartwheel after you made a tackle and you're losing 48 to nothing, you would be taken care of by your own. No one's going to be showing you up. But of course, it's different now. It's a business, and you know they got to tend to their business. So more power to them, I guess.
Dick, what does the University of Illinois in Champaign mean to you?
Well, it's a start. You know, high school is one thing, but choosing a university to go to after your high school career is over is a big step. And I guess I made a good step, and I guess I can thank Coach Bill Taylor for that, for recruiting me here. It's not only just the university and the coaches that you're involved with. It seems like you get involved with the people of Champaign and Urbana. Met some wonderful people. And so, to tell you the truth, I mean, it wouldn't be a bad place to live, you know. So I had, you know, good feelings about Champaign and Urbana and the people here. So I was just very fortunate. We changed a losing program to a winner, and well, you can ask. It really worked out well.
You had your number retired, inducted into the Hall of Fame, got the the statue coming up. Which one of those honor things surprised you the most?
Well, I guess it'd be the number and the statue, you know. Back a number of years ago, I mean, it just seems like it's more in vogue now to have, like at the United Center, you got Jordan and all the hockey guys, and then LA, you got all them guys, all the basketball players, and I don't know, I guess it's gonna be there a while, I guess. I know George had to put in a lot of extra steel in the one leg that, whatever, I guess there's standing on one leg. So I hope, you know, a lot of guys don't get hurt if they're hanging over it, hanging on the thing, trying to bend it off, I don't know. But I guess the statue would be, because it's gonna be there for a while.
You mentioned you were going to talk to the team this week. Just what's your message to them as a?
My message is no message. I don't speak to teams no more. And that was because when I had the number retirement, they wanted me to talk to the team, and so I went and talked to the team when they got beat 66-3, I believe it was, by Nebraska. So I'm not very good at it. And I know the Bears and Aggie wanted me to talk to them. I just don't do it anymore. You know, it's different. What am I gonna say? You know, we came here, it was a losing team. I think they lost 15 in a row. But the coaches recruited certain guys, and we turned the program around. So what am I gonna tell these kids? You're in the same situation I was. You know, you can get your ass beat, but you can let them know that, you know what? That's a hell of a team. They come after you. They might not have the quality of players, but they go after you. And the reason I say that is because at the Pro Bowl and at the College All-Star game, I would have opponents come up and you know, our sophomore year, we won 2 games. Yet, some of those All-Star guys at these Hawaii, the Hula Bowl, and the Shrine Game, they said, you know what? We hated to play you guys. I mean, you weren't worth a shit, but we knew we were gonna get our ass knocked off. And, you know, and that's kind of a tribute. At least, you know you've been in the game when you play us. I don't know if they feel that way here.
How much are you able to watch the teams play now? Are you able to watch them play a little on TV as much?
You mean Illinois?
Yes.
They're on sometimes, yeah, I catch them. When they're on the Big Ten channel or whatever. Yeah, I saw the last couple games. Yeah, I'll watch them, yeah. And then I try to watch whatever teams have some of our Butkus nominees, our watch list. And so I kind of, because I have nothing to do with the voting, I just take a look to see how these kids are doing.
Dick, what's your relationship like with Lovey, and how do you think he's done with this job here?
Well, he's done what he can do, I guess. I met him when he was with the Bears, and I met him here, and you know Lovey, he's a very quiet guy, little key guy, and you know, he's got a tough job ahead of him. You know, it's like I'm gonna mention about, you know, kids don't like to come to a small program, I mean, a losing program. You know, they may not, you know, whatever the reason is, but I don't understand that, because granted, you know, you want to be on a winning team and all that, but wouldn't you get as much excitement and fulfillment of turning a team around? You know, that's what I remember back. We turned the damn losing program around, and we should be proud of that. So, again, I don't know. You know, it's a business now, so I don't know what they're thinking.
Dick, is there something you'd like to be remembered by, or you want the fans to make sure they know about you outside of your accolades on the field?
Not really. You do what you gotta do. And what I mean by that, I met a very interesting guy, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And he went by Secret Santa. That was his name. He's the guy that, at the end of the year, around Christmas time, he'd go out and wherever there was a tragedy, he would go and, you know, hand out money. So he called me and he asked me to go with him. So we went to San Diego. You know, and the people are there living in tents after a fire, lost everything. And he'd come up with his white jumpsuit on and a red hat, talk to him a little bit, give him a couple bucks and leave. He didn't want to be known. He had a Kansas City Star reporter and photographer. They begged him to go with him. And he says, you can go with, but don't ever show my face and you do not tell who I am. Thus, Secret Santa is his name. So, so I started trailing with him a couple of times, 5 years or 6 years. Guy ends up getting cancer and dies, but he taught me a lot about giving. And I mean, there are the stories that we would come across with people. And I just thought he was so neat of a guy. He was homeless. He started out homeless himself. I'll tell you real quick. He was in Mississippi, and he was going to come to Kansas City to visit his sister. And he was living in his car for a while. So he said, "Well, I'm going to go in here in this cafe and have me a good breakfast. Got no money? What is he going to do? And then I'm going to steal some gas and I'm going to drive it up to Kansas City." So he goes into this place, and Ted Horn's the owner, in Bruce, Mississippi, a little cafe. And he goes in there and he has a big breakfast and he's having his coffee now and he's thinking, do I run out of here or how the hell do I get out of here? And so just then, Ted comes from around the counter and bends down and he pulls up a $20 bill. He says, "Here, sir, you must have dropped this." And he goes, "Oh, yeah, right." And so he pays. And as he's walking out, he says, "Lord, if I ever make it, it's payback time." So he goes to Kansas City. He's selling magazines or whatever, and he's got about $500 in the bank. So he goes to this coffee shop one morning, and there's a homeless woman there. And so he reaches in his pocket, and he pulls out a 20. It reminds him, he puts it back. He drives over to the bank, waits for it to open, and he draws $250 out of his $500. He goes back and gives it to the homeless woman. And she says, no, sir, you don't know what you're doing." He says, no, that's all right. From that day on, everything he touched turned to gold. And he did this communications deal that was, I don't know how much he made, but so then he started giving it back. So I was traveling with him at the time. So we go back to Bruce, Mississippi after Katrina. We're doing, after Katrina, doing some work there. So we go back to Ted Horn's place, or he did. I actually went to Ted's home, his house, and we had breakfast that one year. But he went back to the restaurant. He walks in there and he's looking around, and this Ted Horn's still there, the owner. And he says, "Hey, do you recognize me?" The guy's looking like, I don't know, maybe. Why would I remember you? He says, well, he tells him the story about the 20. He says, "What do you think that $20 would be now with interest and all that?" And the guy, "I don't know." He says, "What are you talking about?" So he rips off like 10 grand and gives it to him. And Ted's like, Jesus, what? And so the following year, we go over to Ted's, and he made the same breakfast that Larry had when he was in there. He was going to run out on the tab. So that's the kind of guys he was a real eye-opener for me. And so I try to carry on a little bit. And just, no need to know what you're doing. Just try to help people.
When you got started playing football, was there somebody that kind of empowered you or inspired you, or something like that?
Well, maybe my brother Ron. I was the youngest of 9 kids, and he was here for a while, a whistle stop training camp or whatever at Illinois, and so I kind of looked up to him a little bit. And then of course he knew Nitschke, and my sophomore year in high school, I think we came here and for a spring game, and Ray was here, and Ron and my brother introduced me to Ray, so I started following Ray a little bit. But I just had that self-motivation, I think. It's just, when I'd watch people or whatever they did wrong, I said, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to turn it around, because that didn't help them do this and do that. You know, I went to a vocational high school in Chicago, which allows you to go to the school when you're not in their district. And a buddy of mine that we grew up with since kindergarten, he says, hey, they got a good coach over there, Bernie O'Brien at CBS. I said, let's go, we're going. So we got to the city championships 2 years later. So everything was geared for me. I was very fortunate. I knew I was tunnel vision. I knew what I wanted to do, and I lucked out, and was able to do what I wanted to do up to a certain point, and then the injuries came. So that sometimes is a sign to say it's over. So that's why I'm not, you know, I try not to be so macho with the cane, but I got this neuropathy, and it's like I'm drunk all the time. I'm out drinking, and believe me, that's not fun. I'd rather be drunk and wobble. Cannot, you know, it's tough. So I look like I'm 80 years old here.
Since Red Grains' statue went up, people now like talk about meet red, you know, like they do with Mijo statue in St. Louis, meet red. They're gonna probably do the same thing with your statue. It's kind of like that idea that people coming to see your statue.
They're gonna come. I don't quite understand. What do you mean? They're gonna
I mean,
come?
people come and meet the statue, you know, as a place to meet your.
Oh yeah, there'll
Yeah.
be a signpost there. Yeah, yeah. Let's meet at that statue. That'd be cool. Yeah.
Vic, from what you watched of the Illini this year, any of the guys stick out to you? You like the way they play?
Well, it's funny. You know, certain guys stand out in different games. It doesn't seem like they're putting it all together. You know, that's the only thing I'm worried about. You know, and then with Peterson, I don't know, is he going to be able to play tomorrow? I don't know. It'd be good. That's too bad if he don't, because you know Michigan. But no, not really. You know, like I said before, I try to watch my linebackers. You know, and it's real hard on TV. So I just, like any other fan, I just sit there and watch the game as it's presented by the TV people. So you know, some guys have, like I say, some guys look like they had great games, and then the next week you can't find them.
Dick, what do you have to say to linebackers who were maybe inspired by the way you played?
Well, I would tell them, you know, get on with your life, buddy. You know, they're playing now, and they're thinking back to my days. You know, it's just like at the Hall of Fame, you know, we have our luncheons and we talk, you know, only the players and everything. And I just, when Urlacher got in and Lewis got in the same year, I just, you know, and then Lanier picks me out to talk or something. I'm like, God damn it, I don't. So I just said, like, you know, all you other guys, you know, you're all probably wishing you'd be linebackers, but we know that can't be, because you got to be a great athlete to be a linebacker, because you got to do so many things. And so they're all like giving me the eye or whatever, some of the running backs, whatever. But I don't know, linebackers I just think is, well, at least it was in my time, it was fun to play. Now it's getting so specialized, and with the, you know, with the passing game and everything else, it's very rarely you see like a middle guy, like this Cal kid, Weaver. He looks like a old school middle linebacker guy. But a lot of them are like on the corners, you know, like Cleo Mack. You know, he's supposedly a linebacker. Come on, but he's good. He's good. So he can be called a linebacker.
Mentioning Mac, that Bears defense went through a rough stretch. How exciting is it for you as such a great defensive
Well,
player
it's
to
just
see
like
that Mac at that level?
it's just like anybody, you know. When your team starts winning, you know, all of a sudden you kind of raised from the dead. You know, everybody jumps on the bandwagon. Hopefully they're doing good, and then when they're in the playoffs, you're on the sidelines there and everything else. Well, where the hell were you when they were struggling? So we all jump on that wagon. So. You know, you just wish the best for the teams that you played with and that you follow. And you know, when people ask me about them, I thought, well, they're not going to surprise anybody, and they got a really tough schedule, so they got to be really lucky with injuries. And Nitsky goes down, and then, you know, everybody's bitching about the new quarterback, and, you know, so everybody is able to find a reason to get on their case, but, yeah, they got a way to go, so it's not over yet.
Dick, how would you say George was able to sell you on this project and get you on board?
Well, I really probably didn't have much to say about it. I think they just kind of almost went ahead with it anyway. You know? Well, come on. I mean, yeah, what? You know, someone, you know, if they wanted to put a statue of you for a writer or whatever you do, I mean, how do you feel about it? Oh, I deserve it? You know, maybe the kids today will say it, but you know, it's a very humbling deal. And, you know, and you wonder, you know, why, man? You know, I did what I thought I was supposed to do. And I had fun knocking the shit out of people, you know? So if it was that unusual, I guess you take it, you know?
What do you do for fun these days? If you got a spare hour or two to kill, are you a pickleball player? Do you play tennis? Do you? How do
No,
you
I can't play.
unwind?
I can't play golf. I guess I'm a big fan, and my new sport is volleyball, because my grandson, he plays for UCLA, and he's 6'9", and about 245. He'd love to play football, but my daughter saw that movie Concussion, and that was the end of that. And so he gets hit a concussion playing volleyball, gets hit in the head. So anyway, so I go to his game. He's 6'9". His girlfriend who plays on UCLA's team, she's 6'7", and they make a nice couple, 6'7", 6'9". And so we go to their games, and then his younger brother, he's just turned 15, and he's about 6'5" now, and he's going to be a volleyball player also. So that's my new sport, volleyball. And in fact, we're thinking about going to the game tonight. I was going to tell him, you know, you pack 10 people here to see how we really played it.
Luke sent out a really interesting photo. I think it was of your childhood home, if I'm not mistaken. Where was that on the south side? Well, what streets was that on? Or what are your earliest memories of that kind of homestead that your family had?
10324 South Low. Yeah. It was, you know, an expansive 700 and some square feet house with nine people living there. But we went back there. My brother Ron and Don, we went back there, and of course they got in an argue who slept here and whatever. And there's a stolen cement mixer engine buried under the ground here, and now they put a concrete garage slab on there because it was, you know, dirt. I always tell a story about my brother. You know, you think I was tough. When I was a kid, I was in the garage, and he's a, you know, steel fabricator, welder, and everything else. That's what he used to do. But I was a young kid, and I was standing by him, and he was in the garage, and we had a dirt floor in the garage, and he had something in a vise, and he was soldering it. And all of a sudden, I'm smelling like burnt chicken feathers. And I look down, and he's under there. I mean, he's doing the soldering with bare feet, and the lead, or the melted steel is flicking off his foot. And he's like, you know, like he was being harassed by a gnat or something. And I'm like, what the heck? Smoke and everything? I mean, you talk about a tough guy. And he should have played. He played in high school, but fell in love, and everybody's got their deal.
And that's
That's the end of that.
We got time about one more question. Anybody, anything else for, Dick, I like it, one thing, you know, your era, the cradle, the linebacker, you, Nitschke, Burrell, yourself, there was others, Axe and Hansen and others during that era. Was there a pride factor about being the next?
Well, I don't know if they're, you know, where it came from, but, you know, Pirelli, Tony Pirelli, and then you had Nitschke, of course, and we had some good ones. And then, you know, you had back-to-back Illinois guys, Howard, and then win the Butkus Award, you know, which caught a lot of shit from the southern people, like, oh, it's fixed, I don't vote for it, so it was, and, you know, everybody was always talking about these other schools that are linebacker schools. I said, you know, Illinois doesn't do too bad itself. So to end here, I just, you know, our flight was canceled yesterday, and we didn't get in until 3 in the morning, and all, you know, 14 of our families, so I might be under the weather here, a little pissed off about something, but get over it, as they say. So I appreciate you coming, and write good things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.